Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So now let me get. All right, here we go. Let me get this chat. Let me pop the chat out here. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Hey, thank Jazer Juice. I'd like to pop the chat out here so I don't have to stare at everything else. Pop out chat. There we go. Much better. Much better. Okay, so are we cool? Can people see me? I'm doing all right. I'm doing much better. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I did everything I normally do, but the chat, for whatever, didn't get started. Just make sure that everyone finds this here. Hello, Mober. Hello, Joshua. Hello, Sandra. Joshua. JC's rating Ray. Hello. Okay, cool. Heidi is here. I think we got everybody. I'm gonna check the old chat here just a second. Hopefully Capone will find his way over here. Ah, now my chat's disappeared again. There we go. I don't see Capone pop up. I'm gonna go back over there one more time just in case, because I don't want to leave anybody left behind. All right, everyone's got the link. All right, here we go. Okay. Maddie, hello. Okay, good. And there's Capone. Awesome. So I guess, gosh, all that intro stuff is all lost now. So let me quickly circle. Hello, Rose. Hey, I'm doing much better. Thank you all. I'm glad you guys found the link here. Right. So I wonder if this would be a better way to do it, actually, because it looked like this one is tagging it as live event 20, and I wonder if I could just keep on using this portal over and over and over again. I wonder if that would make things easier. Anyway, I'll have to think about that, and we'll see how that works. Okay, so circling back around. Capone's asking the group, anyone know, is it bad or dangerous to sing one vowel out and second inhale and sing it an octave higher? I'm not exactly sure what that question means, but skipping around your range isn't a problem. That's something we have to practice. Jacob Vasquez, hello Jeff, I'm baritone on choir, but I've always been able to sing tenor. Now my voice is too deep for maybe able to sing high notes. If I sing bass, my voice feels raspy. Yeah, an all too common tale. Choirs putting people where they need them, and not necessarily where their voices would indicate. Your upper register will probably come back, but you're going to have to spend a little bit of time vocalizing up there to get comfortable with it again. That's sort of the only thing. Sam L., you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. I'm glad the alto range is helping you out. Joshua, what's the best way to find your comfort range? Start small and work your way out. So for most male vocalists, like really small, like stick to the notes between D3 and B3, and then just gradually just kind of just work your way out from there, a little bit at a time. And eventually you'll find the places where it gets a little bit uncomfortable, and then just stay below that, or above it for that matter. The Mober. I had 2 raw cloves of garlic this morning. They're very good for destroying bad bacteria in my mouth and throat. Really good. I love garlic. I very frequently will chop up like a couple cloves of raw garlic onto a salad. I try not to do that before I'm teaching. understandably, but yeah, lovely. Sounds lovely. And I don't know. I mean, different people like different levels of spice. If you get those like sort of purplish, I always thought they were called like elephant garlic. I'm not sure if that's really what they're called or not. But the big purplish ones are very, very mild. They're not nearly so spicy as some of the smaller cloves can be. Oh, you thought it hard to eat? Douse it with a little vinegar. It'll be all right. Fred, hey Jeff, got the guidebook. Super excited to get started. Awesome. Keep in mind that part of the reason why I started the Facebook group Sequencer was to act as a sort of support mechanism for using the guidebook. So if you use Facebook, consider looking up Sequencer and getting on there, because there's already been a few questions. Really just, I haven't checked it today, but there's been one that I interacted with an individual about, and I expect and want to have that occur. So give that some thought too. Faith, I sent the link as a comment. I have little English, but I try to understand you. Oh, okay, cool. Thank you for helping, Faith. I really appreciate it. Nathaniel saying that I have the same problem as Jacob, but I'm a tenor. Yeah. Quentin, excuse me. Clarification on range. Let's say a tenor has C3 to C5. How many notes below C3 can he hit? An interesting and excellent question. His voice doesn't just stop after C3, right? With mics, he wouldn't need to project that over an orchestra. You're absolutely right. And for that reason, I often talk about range in terms of usable range and ultimate range. And tenors can very frequently sing down a minor third, a perfect fourth below C3, depending on the tenor and their instrument and all that. And C5, tenors will very frequently vocalize above that as well. Usually, when we talk about range, I often think about it in terms of consistency of tone. So below C3 is when tone starts to change for me, and it becomes much more challenging to have a consistent full range sound. And that's when I start debating whether or not I want to include that in whatever it is I'm performing. So for myself personally, I rarely perform anything that's below C3, B2, excuse me. But that's different for everybody, and it's always entirely possible to really, really practice that range of your voice to get it so that it's much more reliable in a performance environment, and then go on and vocalize yourself to your normal range afterwards. Joshua Delaney, my range is about G2 to B4. Cool. Monsieur Maubet, any news on the Google Hangout, Jeff? Yeah, this is a very good point. I have brought this up on Twitter. Thank you for reminding me. I always just want to call you Monsieur Maubet. Anyways, the Mober. I brought this up on Twitter because I had this idea about something I wanted to do, and I've broached it to a certain degree in Sequencer, the Facebook group as well. And this is all open to discussion and thoughts and stuff, but my thought was I wanted to do, if this is, I called this office hours because this was like when I was in university, and different professors would have their office hours at different times in the week. And so you could show up and ask your questions and get answers and interact with professors or teaching assistants or whatever. And so I had this idea about wanting to create a studio class. And for those of you that are in music school, you will already know, but for those who have not gone to music school, you may not know that in most music programs you have a studio class. And once a week or once a month, it varies from studio to studio, you have this period of time where your professor and students will come, and there can also be guest performances from different studios. Like one time at the University of Michigan, we had this studio from way up in the north of Canada came down, and a bunch of the people who were in university played, and some of us played, and teachers sometimes play, and all kinds of stuff. And there's this just exchange of performances and an environment where we can talk about things that we liked and what we didn't like and all that sort of stuff. So I was thinking about trying to start something here as well. And I feel like I have a pretty good idea of how it's going to work. And so the initial sessions that I want to do would just be probably myself and 2 or 3, 4 other people in a Google Hangout, and just kind of see how it goes. And then from there, we'll open it up from there. In my mind, I have this idea where we would have both people who were slated to sing a song at that period, and then others who would be there to observe, listen, and offer thoughts, constructive feedback, stuff like that. But initially, it'll just be a small group of like about 3 or 4 people. So if you're interested in that, get in touch via Twitter or go over to the Facebook group Sequencer and get in touch with me there, because I'm feeling like in the next week or 2 I want to get this thing started with at least a test case or 2. Joshua, B flat 4. I'm thinking that's a talk of, B flat 4. I gotcha. That's cool. Greg, hey Jeff, just want to tell you that I've been making huge progress on brightening my voice since last week. Brilliant. Well done. 5280 coaching, try turmeric tea with garlic. I love it. I've been rocking the boiled ginger with a little splash of honey, actually more than a splash of honey. And about half a lemon squeezed into it has been my elixir lately, and I'm certainly loving it. Greg is talking to Joshua Delaney. Capone, I like the baritone larger exercises. It goes to G4. Now I'm improved to A4. Excellent. So it is nice to sing over an octave. How long it takes to go to C5? As long as you're not squeezing, you should be fine. You will most likely be going, I'm speaking to Capone's question about range here, you'll most likely be going through the next registration event as you're getting on towards C5. But again, as long as it's not squeezy or painful, you should be just fine. I would definitely record myself just to make sure that the intonation is good. If the intonation is good, and again, you're not squeezing, you're not feeling any pain, then it's reasonable to assume that you're making those transitions nicely, and things are going well. That's very good. Greg is talking to Capone. That is true, Greg. Nathaniel. Oh, Nathaniel, the guidebook's at jeffrolka.com. Heidi is talking to Faith and can translate for you. That's very cool. Capone's talking to Greg, Faith, how? I think Faith is talking to Heidi there. FYI, I think the person who asked the questions about Wicked, if the person from that asked me about Wicked last week is here, I had a look at that. Basically, if you're a mezzo, you're not going to go over the secondo passaggio, but the highest notes have sufficient sustain that you're going to really, really need a lot of good airflow and engagement and openness, because you're going to be right at the very top of your thyroarytenoid dominant singing voice, your chest voice. I can speak in more detail if you're here. Just let me know. Greg is talking to Capone. John Reynolds, do you give Skype lessons, FaceTime Hangouts? Yes, I do. If you're interested in talking about that, go to voicelessonssf.com and get in touch with me via the contact sheet, and we can hook it all up. Heidi is talking to Faith, and Heidi knows Turkish. Maddie Hendricks, I am so excited for my voice repertoire this semester. One song that I'm singing is Energy Bells Live from Handel. Wow. Awesome. Brilliant. I look forward to the recording. The first recording that you shared some time ago was lovely. Faith is saying, oh, thanks, I believe, to Heidi. I think I'm all caught up. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. Maddie Hendricks, is very difficult right now because of many melismas and trills. Any advice? Start slow. Take it slow in tempo. I would work it over with a lip trill. I would work it over with a solid vowel before putting the vowels from the phrases in place. Focus initially, make your initial focus on the continuity of airflow and connectedness of the melody through all those different notes, and slow them down. If you can't play them on the piano yourself, then consider getting something like the Amazing Slow Downer, and that will slow things down for you. And just work through it slowly but surely. Capone is chuckling about his C's. Faith, my teacher, when are you looking my link? I am not sure what that means, I'm afraid. Lola Lewis. Hi, Jeff. Hi, everyone. Hello, Lola. Welcome back. Rose. Misty Mountain Rise from Neil Finn is one of my favorite songs to sing. You know, I don't know that tune by Neil, and I know so much of Neil Finn's music. I'm going to have to check it out because I absolutely adore Neil Finn and his singing and his work. There's a really, really cool songwriters round that has Neil Finn and he's the alt country guy that does those heartbreaking tunes, but also does he covered Taylor Swift's album last year. I can't remember his name right now, but if you look for Neil Finn songwriters round, it is so inspiring. And there's a female singer-songwriter, old school female singer-songwriter that's on that round as well, and she is like a force of nature. She is so amazing. Yeah, like she it's astounding. It's astounding to listen to her because she's just playing like very minimal guitar, like not much at all, but her the words and her performance is just out of this world. I'll have to see if I can find the link to that and share it with you guys. It's on YouTube. When will you look at the connection? Sorry. I'm afraid I've lost track of it. I don't know what you're talking about. If you've posted a link somewhere, YouTube will very, very frequently weed those things out. If it was sent by email, it may have gotten swept into other things, especially if it came through YouTube, even if it made it. And I do apologize. You may have to resend it. If you've sent a link, you may have to resend it. And I'm sorry if that got swept under the rug. Quentin, you're welcome. I can do D2, but I'm not sure that's really part of my voice. Wow. I cap off at E flat 3 on a good day, though. So, IDK. Yeah, I can dig. D2 is low. Wow. That's low. Maddie, the Google Hangout group sounds exactly like my seminar class. Yeah, it was studio class at U of M, seminar class. Great idea. Would love to be a part of it. Excellent. Well, I really hope to get, I want to get as many people involved as want to be involved. But unlike so much of what we normally do elsewhere on the channel, it's going to be primarily performance focused. So it's going to be sing a song, short little bit of feedback, sing another song, and just getting people performing. Capone, that's really, really good. No pain. No pain, all gain. No pain, all gain. Joshua, can a bigger voice, like mine, limit some range, or is there a way to increase, even with having a big voice? Take it slow and work it in slowly. If you're working on registration events and trying to increase the overall range that you can sing within, start by reducing the amount of force or volume that you are creating in your thyroarytenoid dominant singing voice, your chest voice, and get the feel for how to ease your way through the transition into your upper register. The more that comfortable you get with that, and the more that the cricothyroid muscles become accustomed to it, and the thyroarytenoid muscles become accustomed to allowing themselves to be elongated by the cricothyroid muscles, the easier it'll become, and the more resonance you will carry through the range of your voice. It pays also to isolate the resonators one at a time, to practice that so you get accustomed to the physical sensation of maintaining that resonance as you ascend through it. If we haven't done that much, and I'm speaking of myself because I had to go through this and have to remind myself of it frequently too, it's very easy to lose those colorations just because you're going through a registration event. Monsieur Maubet, I wonder how would sound work on those Google Hangouts. I'd be very interested in it, by the way, but it would just be the usual concerns of audio or visuals on each other's part. Absolutely. Absolutely. Of course, I use outboard equipment to bring this sound to you. So most of the time when I listen to the chats afterwards, I mean, I don't spend a lot of time listening to them, but I'll usually have a quick listen just to check and see what they sound like. The sound is reasonably good. You know, it's not necessarily a hi-fi, but it's a good quality and the volume is appropriate. It's going to be different for everybody, and I think that's part of what the learning curve is going to be like. For those with audio interfaces, it's going to be important that you test your interface out before you get into the chat. Sometimes those things go horribly wrong, and sometimes they don't. So we'll see. We'll keep the first few groups really, really small, and the understanding will be that if it all goes up in flames, you know, it goes up in flames. But one of the things that I want to do in those is I want to be able to, one, hear you, because I can't hear you in this context. But I'm going to be wearing headphones while I'm listening so that I can hear more clearly and enjoy the better quality digital to analog conversion coming out of the system, because I'm Apogee converters going in, and it'll be Apogee coming back to me as well. I'm so sorry that I see your comment there, and I would only do your name injustice if I tried to pronounce it. If you can give me a phonetic pronunciation, that would be really, really cool. Just type it in the chat so that I can address you properly. But you're very welcome. Hi, I want to thank you because I saw progress in my voice. I can understand what you say, but I cannot write or speak English well. Sorry, your English in that comment is flawless. It's awesome. It's completely great and very, very good. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. 5280 Coaching. Jeff, I'm a Facebook idiot. Can't find your sequencer page. Could you post the link, please? I did post a 5-star review on your production space, so thank you very much. I really, really appreciate that. I will have to... Sophia. Thank you, Sophia. I appreciate that. Yes. I can post a link here. So now you can watch as my eyes go dull and I pull this up. I think this will work. Hold on a second. Sorry. Cannot mouse and talk at the same time. Copy. And then we go over here. We gotta do this. There it is. Here's the sequencer group. There you go. I think that'll work. Did that come up? There you go. Okay, so, right, I realize now that I'm very, very far behind, but 5280 Coaching, the link is now at the bottom of the chat, or I suppose if you're scrolling in real time, you will now have seen it, hopefully. Hopefully we're still live. Looks like we're still live. That's good. Okay. Karina, I am here. I was one asking about For Good and Defying Gravity last week. Thanks for remembering. You're very welcome, Karina. Yeah. So yeah, if you're a mezzo, it should be fine. If you're a soprano, even better, although I suppose some of the low notes might be problematic for you. Those songs, though, man, are absolutely full range and really exciting work. If I may, the extended range video that got released, I think it was last week, and the long scales video would be appropriate to prepare for that, because you really need everything from the very, very top well into the secondo passaggio part of your range all the way to the bottom. Faith is talking to Heidi. JC's Radiant Ray and is talking to Karina. And Faith, what did you say about me? Nathaniel, what do you think about Ariana Grande as a vocalist? I'm a big fan of hers. I haven't listened to her too much. I think this question came up before, and I went and listened to a few things, but I don't remember much about it at all. I'd have to go and have a listen, which I'm happy to do. Though I must admit, I'm much more interested in your your personal vocal questions and concerns, than about talking about rich and famous people. Though I don't mind having a listen here and there. And like I had to listen to, what the song is called Stone Cold on a Demi Lovato, and man, I loved it. I hadn't listened to her at all, and I just thought it was awesome. I thought she really killed it. Heidi is translating for Faith. That looks awesome. Sandra, I've been having a few difficulties with a Baroque coloratura aria. Slow it down, Sandra. Not an uncomfortable range, mind you. It's only E4 to B5, but I tend to close up my throat. Any advice on how to tackle that issue? When I skip to other coloratura arias that are higher, to E6, I do just well. Slow it down. Slow it down. Play it on the piano. If you can't play it, get the amazing slow downer so that you can slow it down and practice with it that way. You're probably struggling with that a little bit, or it's providing some difficulties because it's right in the middle of all these transition areas. Whether you're it's not exactly right, but for the vast majority of female vocalists, you are in the vicinity of the primo passaggio and getting into the zona de passaggio, and that would B5 though. E4 to B5, E4 to B5. Yeah, right. Right. So yeah, you're right over the zona de passaggio, all that sort of stuff. Take it slow it down. Particularly the things that ascend up. If you can do the super lip trill, that will certainly create a lot more flexibility for you. Flexibility in vocal delivery is about keeping the vocal musculature as released as possible. In order to do that, you've got to have sufficient airflow. I would also listen very carefully to your descending intervals. If they sound like you're falling into it, or if you have the sense that you're releasing any engagement on the descent, that means that you're going to have to make up for it on the next ascending interval. It's a very common thing to do, but we have to approach those skippy lines very linearly. That's what gives them a lot of good continuity. So have a listen to those things and see if that helps. Heidi and Faith are talking. No worries, Heidi. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, JC's running away at Heidi Banker and Faith. Joshua Delaney, you have an awesome channel here on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you so much for your help, and keep on doing this. I will. I'll be watching more. By the way, do you offer Skype lessons? Yes, Joshua. You can always get in touch via voicelessonssf.com, and we can sort out all the details. Monsieur Mauvais, and so will it be where certain people come in and sing certain songs, or is it open to anyone and any songs? I am 17, so I hope there's not... No. There's no age limits or minimums. We will maintain very strict etiquette as we do here and throughout the channel. The idea is that the people who are going to be performing would know it in advance so they could prepare adequately. When it's time to do it, everyone would enter the chat. Once all the performers are there, we would start, and we just take it in turns to sing a song and then offer thoughts about it. Eventually, I'd like to be able to share out that link to other people, either like friends and family or other people here on the channel that want to just observe, even if they're not performing. So, but initially, it's going to be in the testing phase. We're going to keep this all very, very private, and just a few people to test out the system to make sure that I'm thinking about this properly and to see how it works, and if it's really if it'll work, basically. Karina, the link is right below you there. Capone, how to lighten the voice. Everyone talks about it, but what it means. I have a hard time when I go over the chest voice. How to stretch vocal folds more. Compress, chest voice can only go so far. You're absolutely right, Capone. A big part of that is identifying where the secondo passaggio is, where your break is. And lightening is about balance. You can learn a lot about balance by listening to the differences between vowels, and particularly if you're doing short notes. Short notes really, really help to get the right vocal fold engagement, the right balance. He, 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 he. When it's squeezy, it has a different timbre. He. You can hear me gripping a little bit. When it's poorly adducted, when it's airy, that's not light or narrow either. He. We're looking for a balanced tone production, and usually, if you can maintain reasonably good engagement, then you can find that lighter, well-balanced timbre with short pitches, and then try to maintain that with a melismatic scale. Greg. Heidi saying thanks. 5280 Coaching saying I'll check it out. Thanks, you're welcome. Greg, hey Jeff, this week a lot of my improvement came out of the blue after I listened to your songs. I guess just hearing your brightness and tone made me subconsciously imitate it. I'm humbled. That's great. Yeah, thank you for sharing. There's a comment in there I'm reaching for. I'm curious what you were listening to. Monsieur Maubet, I have a feeling I would be singing some Oasis and Green Day tunes in that Google Hangout. Really love those songs. That sounds great. I see no reason and that's another reason why I want to do this, is to, getting it off YouTube then means that it's not that I want to violate copyright things and stuff like that, but there are fair usage allowances that don't really work in the context of YouTube's content ID system, and so it wouldn't even work on YouTube. So Google Hangouts is what it'll probably be to do that kind of thing. 5280 Coaching, I got this message from the Facebook link. Sorry, this content isn't available right now. The link you followed may have expired, or the page may only be visible to an audience you're not in. Duh. Okay, so I just grabbed the URL from the top of my page, but I need to get like an actual link to this page somehow. Hi, edit and leave. No, I don't want to leave the group. Okay. That's message. I got over to messages. I don't know how. I'm not entirely awesome at navigating Facebook either. Okay. Here we are back in Sequencer. I'm so sorry. I don't know. Copy link address. Let's try this. That looks like the same thing though. See, I think that's the same. I mean, I'll send it, but I think that's the same link that got sent before. I'm really sorry. I will have to find a way to get that out to you. I apologize for not being able to do it quite so adeptly here. Michael Kitching. I tend to lose volume slightly when changing through my break fluidly. Is this normal? Also, how can I strengthen voice? I don't have consistency when singing daily. I tend to be great then the next week. Okay, consistency is going to come with time. If you're losing volume, see, you're talking about losing consistency and also losing volume, and that makes me concerned that you're actually carrying more tension through the secondo passaggio than is truly advantageous. Um, airflow needs to increase as you ascend through that area of your voice, but it's not that it doesn't increase in terms of the flow by that much, but the engagement of it, and particularly the persistence of your expansion, when I'm singing in that area, is very insistent, and is very, very important. One of the ways that you can start, and this may seem counterintuitive, to start this practice and develop it, because we're going to develop this slowly, is focus first on reducing the volume in your thyroarytenoid voice in the exercises that you are going to ascend over the secondo passaggio with. So be way softer in the thyroarytenoid range in the run-up to the transition. Eventually, you're going to carry more volume as you learn where the sort of breaking point is. But that breaking point will continue to change as the musculature that makes the transition, the cricothyroid muscles, gets more and more accustomed to making that transition. You'll be able to carry more and more of your volume higher and higher and higher. But for the time being, start off by backing off your thyroarytenoid voice, your chest voice, a lot. And then work on your ascent, work on your descent as well, too, of course. Nathaniel laughing about Ariana Grande. Just had to ask. I always ask that question to teachers I've been with or people who know a lot about vocals. Well, I'll have to have a listen. I just don't recall from my past experiences. 5280 Coaching, don't worry about the link. I'll email you or something later. Very cool. Thank you for your understanding. Sandra, my break is exactly at E4. Right. Interesting. Joshua Delaney, I have a song on SoundCloud. I wrote it about quitting smoking. Well, first of all, if you still are quitting smoking, congratulations. That's very, very good. It's called Loud and Clear. If you could, you should check it out and tell me what you think. I'll post the link. Yeah, links. Okay, so with these chats, if you're posting links in the chat, which I'm not sure you always can, if I can access it, I haven't figured out how after the events are done. So a better way to interact with me that way is either on Sequencer, which is the group that I started for all of us on Facebook, or to use voicelessonssf.com and get in touch with me that way. Because I don't, and I apologize. I see now from Heidi's comment here that I've been pronouncing her name incorrectly, and I apologize, Fatih. So thank you very, very much for correcting me. I'm very, very sorry about that. But yeah, links. YouTube will very frequently edit links out of the comments, and the messaging system on YouTube is not terribly reliable. And the channel now is getting quite popular, and so there's a lot of stuff that when I'm answering comments on the channel, I'll see another comment below it that's been sitting there for a month that I never saw. And I'm supposed to get notifications of all this stuff. And so whether it's getting folded in or weeded out, or it's somehow I'm missing it when I get the notifications, better ways are to switch over to the Facebook group for links and stuff like that. Or voicelessonssf.com. I'm gonna put I haven't gotten around to it. I need to put a contact sheet on jeffrolka.com as well, and pretty soon you'll be able to get in touch with me through that as well. So there we go. Fatih is asking, after E flat 4 loud begins. Why? I would really have to check it out. I'd have to hear what's going on there. But if we sort out that link thing, then that'll be totally doable. Sandra, you're welcome. Capone, sauna time. Lovely. Enjoy, Capone. If you're still here, I presume you're already in the sauna. Karina, I have started on For Good last week. Super cool song indeed. I do not have a strong chest voice, so I need some work. Yeah. That's one of those things. I would work through all the melodies in that tune on a single vowel sound before worrying about the lyrics too much. Just get it all sorted out and then slot your words in. Karina Chen is saying thank you to JC's Radiant Ray and thank you for facilitating everything JC's Radiant Ray. I really, really appreciate it. Karina Chen, very cool. You're welcome. Excellent. Heidi, thank you again. I saw that. Fatih, yes, true. Monsieur Maube, I've got to go now, but you can certainly count me as one of the people who wants to take part in the Hangout. Excellent. Hopefully you can get in touch on Twitter for more about this. In any case, stay safe. Thank you very much, Monsieur Maube. I posted the link to the group. Fatih, when will you accept your request for a Facebook group? As soon as I'm done with this live event, I'll go over there and okay all the people whoever's over there. Link worked for Striker. That's very, very good. Fatih saying thank you. Karina Chen, can you allow us to ask more messages? Yeah, I know we got such a slow start here. Let's keep going for a few more minutes. JC's Radiant Ray at Striker Kane. Interesting. I have access to now, but the link did not work for me. Fatih, I see. E flat 4 is your passaggio. Quite possibly. Sophia, right? Thank you. Thank you very much, JC's Radiant Ray, for taking care of that. I do appreciate that. Let's keep scrolling. Oh, why can't I scroll? That appears to be like the end of it there. Michael Kitching, thank you for your help. Followed your work for a long time. Wonderful. Well, thank you for watching, and thank you for coming out this evening or this day. I certainly appreciate it. Sophia, could you do another video with diaphragmatic exercises, please? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a really, really good idea, in fact. I'll need to make a note of it. Yeah, that I love those videos because I always feel like I'm really, really doing. I feel like I'm doing like really good work, with those kinds of video lessons, because I always feel like we can, with the incorporation of those diaphragmatic breathing, exercises into the vocalizations, you can really get a sense of what your voice feels like when you've got really, really good engagement. New diaphragmatic breathing. Fatih, your dramatic baritone. Very cool. I had no idea. Yeah, I had that quite wrong. But thank you for clarifying, and I am sorry for mispronouncing your name. Lola, yes, please. I am a soprano, and it helps. Excellent. Well, in the next few weeks, certainly in the next few weeks, I want to test the waters on also doing another. Well, I want to try another new idea, basically, about how to work on music. But I'm gonna make comparisons between a contemporary song and a song that's in the public domain that I can use without concern about copyright infringement here on YouTube. So I was asking on Twitter this week about what songs people were working on and I got a few people chimed in with some really, really cool stuff, and I had to listen to a bunch of the Foo Fighters tunes, and I think it was The Pretender that I was really taken by. So I want to take a closer look at that tune, and then do a video on how to work on that song. Monsieur Maubet, quick question before I go. If I sing this evening for a good hour, can I still be allowed to sing later on in the night for maybe another hour and a half? I was just wondering if it's too much on the vocal cords. I do not think so at all. So long as you remain well hydrated and you're not abusing your voice in the hours in between, and so long as you're not assuming you're not hurting yourself while you're singing, if you're using good airflow, good engagement, good body alignment, and good alignment of your vowels, I see no reason why you can't sing for an hour in the morning or early afternoon and then sing later on in the day. I mean, case in point, between my personal practice and what I practice for my own musical edification, as well as my teaching responsibilities, I can easily sing, for 5 or more hours in a given day. I didn't necessarily just start off doing that, but that's where I'm at now, and I don't. Unfortunately, I get colds pretty easy. I don't seem to be my body chemistry doesn't seem to jive well with the bugs here in England. But if I don't get a cold or sick, there's no issue whatsoever. Michael Kitching, have you thought about doing these streams on Twitch? Chat is much more reliable. Also, the diaphragm is a big thing for me. I'm not sure whether I'm puffing out the stomach of exaggerating engagement. Okay, I haven't thought about Twitch at all. I haven't even been on Twitch. I only heard about it for the first time like a week or two ago. I have to go investigate. Michael Kitching, I'd like to direct you to an article online. If you do a web search for Shirley Emmons breath management or breathing management, the notion of pushing out the stomach is very frequently perpetuated in instrumental and vocal music, but apagio breath management, which is what I believe people are trying to teach when they're talking about sticking your stomach out to inhale and then sucking it in when you start singing, is largely erroneous. And I don't want you to take my word for it. I would like you to, if you would give that some consideration, have a look at Shirley Emmons' website, and then have a look at my video on apagio breathing for singing, or apagio breath management. It's called something like that. And give that some thought. When I first came upon apagio, I came upon it in Richard Miller's book, Training Tenor Voices. And I've told this story a bunch of times, but I read the paragraph, and I read it again and again and again and again, because it didn't make sense. It was like it was like a cognitive dissonance, where it went against everything that I had been taught for such a long time. And yet, for such a long time, my voice did not have the consistency and ease of registration that I thought it should, given my voice type and given what I had been taught and told throughout all those years of practice. It took me some time to convert my breath management system to true apagio breath management, but nothing has had as huge an impact on the consistency, quality, control, range, and every other facet of my vocal delivery as making that transition. So I would really encourage you to check that out, and then explore that on the YouTube channel, and then here in the live event. And as much as I can help, of course, I'm here to help. Striker Kane's working on Scarborough Fair. Love it. Love it. Heidi Banker, my performance last Sunday went well despite having to have somebody else play guitar. Right, because you got hit by a car. And we're all glad that you're okay. And I'm glad to hear that your performance went well. Monsieur Maubet, my head voice is getting better. It's not as painful and as strong to hit it. Good. It seems like the longer and longer I practice my singing during the day, the easier it gets. Good. To transitions through the chest, mixed, and head voice. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. JC's Radiant Ray is talking to Heidi. JC's Radiant Ray, to all, you are a cool group. Have a great week. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, JC's Radiant Ray. Michael Kitching, artist. Please check out my YouTube page. Maybe point out my faults. Haha. My wrists and knees are almost back to normal. Goodness me. I'm so very glad. That's to Heidi. Michael Kitching, artist. Your tip worked out much better with the mental stretching of the ribs out laterally rather than using air to expand the belly. Research bit excellent. Striker Kane also watched a Joyce DiDonato masterclass on the tube for breathing. She does a brilliant visualization about anchoring air control through the feet to the earth. As Miles Davis used to talk about that like that too. He would always talk about like anchoring down and like that he got his power from the earth. That's a cool visualization, Striker. Screws drilling in as the air goes out. Fatih, my easy mix range, E4 to G4, but I can hit A sharp 4 to C sharp 5, but so much have air. Well, those things can be worked on for sure. All right, everybody. Well, we got off to a little bit of a rough start for some reason. I don't know why, but I want to thank you all for joining me. Check out Sequencer so that we can all get involved. I do want to get this Google group going as soon as possible. Thank you, as always, for your questions. Thank you for your flexibility in popping over to this new stream. I'm going to have to investigate this and see if we can just restart this stream time and time again, because that might mean we'd have a permanent link that we can go to. And yeah, so there we go. Thank you for following me on Twitter, 5280 Coaching. Very cool. We can all chit-chat there about getting ready for the Hangout. I'm excited. This is going to be exciting to hear people sing and sing some songs. So everyone, thank you so much. Take really good care of your voices. Enjoy singing. Hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.